Hey guys, Candace Jones here. I'm sitting today with my friend Jennifer Palmer from Coastal Wellness. And Jennifer is a Reiki coach and a sleep coach with Coastal Wellness, right? And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. And I'm kind of sleepy already at 8 o'clock, so it's a good topic. And I kind of wanted to start out with, as I told Jennifer, just kind of wanted to briefly talk about why sleep is so important in our lives. And I think it's kind of like something that all health experts can agree on, as far as something that we all need more of. I mean, as far as diets and nutrition, like, everybody has their own sort of viewpoint, but we can all get behind needing more sleep. I don't know any doctor that would actually recommend less sleep. So, yeah. Now, as far as just a lack of sleep, it really creates a lot more stress in our environment and within our bodies. So it's kind of an ongoing cycle, meaning, like, with more stress, like, you can't get sleep because you're stressed, and you're stressed out because you're not getting sleep. So it's just ongoing, and it really can lead into just obesity problems, aging, and hormone imbalances, even just immune issues. So really just something to emphasize, as far as not to take sleeping lightly, so to speak, I think, I don't know, it's just like a lot of people just take it for granted. And we were just talking about that, just how people just, I guess, they see not getting sleep as a
bragging rights.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. It's just like, you need to take care of yourself first, and this is the first thing that you can do for yourself, as far as even creating an environment and creating a routine that promotes just a sleep routine, better sleep.
Yeah.
So, just let's talk about a little bit, I guess, as far as how we can help each other, help everybody watching, just create a better routine, and just get right into the how-tos, right? What are some things that you would recommend to your patients, as far as clients, as far as getting into a better sleep state?
I kind of relate the need for a sleep routine for adults as being just like a child. We talked about, you have a toddler, Jeffrey, and if he's out in the backyard running around, and you go pluck him up out of the backyard at 7:30, brush his teeth, put clean pajamas on him, lay him down to bed, and tell him to go to sleep, he's going to have a hard time doing that. And we're the same way. We, a lot of times, are doing dishes, doing laundry, working, doing things late at night, and then we try to lay down and go to sleep, but we haven't prepared ourselves. So what I start doing to prepare myself for sleep is, about an hour and a half before I'm ready to go to bed, I turn on my salt lamp, and this sits beside my bed. And salt lamps are good they just give off a nice warm energy, and they help clean out some of the air, the electronic debris, from all of our electronics. And I turn this little lamp on next to my bed, and I turn the overhead light off, and I turn the lamp on beside my bed, and then I go take an Epsom salt bath with some essential oils. And the essential oils tell the brain it's time to relax, and my body starts to know what's going to happen next, because we've done this day after day. And so my body knows that relaxation is its goal for right now. So after my bath or shower, I'll get into bed with a book that is not upsetting, something that's going to be relaxing and peaceful for me to read. And I set a designated time that I'll read before going to bed. And then when that time is up, I spend time quietly, just focusing on all the good things that occurred during the day, and being grateful for the day, checking in with my body, seeing how I'm feeling. Do I need something to drink before I go to bed?
Yeah.
Do I need to use the restroom? What is my body needing? Because I've been so busy all day, maybe I haven't listened. And if there's pain somewhere, sometimes that's an indicator of something that I need to pay attention to. So just kind of check in with where I feel in my body, and then I just allow myself to relax. And I tell myself that I've put in a good day's work, I've done everything I need to do, and now what I need to do is relax.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
It took a long time to get into that routine, and if you're trying to set up a routine, don't try a routine one day or a week and then find that it's not working and give up. It's going to take a period of weeks. So give yourself time to try out routines that work best for you and your family, and really give it a good 2 or 3 weeks before you give up on a routine. And you may find that making adjustments to that routine helps. And maybe you need to add something or take something out of that routine. You just kind of experiment with it.
Yeah, and that's with everything, obviously. I mean, I've been here now. This is like my 10th video and whatnot, but it's, you know, it's all about preparation and getting yourself, even just in a healthy lifestyle, you have to like give yourself time to make the adjustments. Whether that's even with like giving up sugar or like cravings, you have to like let your body adjust. And I think you have to realize that your body's not just gonna fall asleep just because you're telling your body to go to sleep. You have to prepare it. And I think even just a lot of things that you can do throughout the day to prepare your body, as far as even just what you're eating, like cutting out the caffeine after one, especially because like most coffee like stays with you for a good like 7 to 8 hours. And if you're drinking a lot of coffee throughout the day, then like, hey, but yeah, watching the caffeine, watching like your sugar intake throughout the day, because that's just going to make your blood sugar, you know, spike and have a crash. But
not eating dinner too late, because then your body's trying to digest your meal.
Yeah.
And if you've eaten something that causes heartburn, then you're uncomfortable and your body's just not prepared to sleep well.
Yeah.
So.
And I really like what you said about just even checking in with yourself and being more mindful at the end of the night, because it's really just about simple tricks that you can do to just create a calmness environment. And one thing that I like to even talk to my clients as well is, what is your room like? Like, what is it inviting to you in the sense of creating sleep? Like, is there like clutter? Like, especially with women, I speak to, like men, not so much. Like they can pretty much like pass out and like not notice like the jumble around. But like for me to go into my bedroom and to like sit down and read, and there's like dirty laundry, or if there's like a pile of dirty laundry, whatever it is, like that's on my brain. Like that doesn't invoke like peacefulness too. So it's just like, again, just kind of creating that environment, like, and making it just kind of your like sanctuary. And I mean, hopefully you're not rolling your eyes at me at that point, but like, you know, it's just, you know, creating a clutter-free environment as well.
And having the temperature set to a temperature that you can sleep. If it's too hot, it's hard to sleep. If it's too cold, it's hard to sleep. So having the right bed covers. If you're sleeping with a spouse who likes it colder, then maybe you need a warmer, separate blanket, and kind of just working out all the temperature issues. Also noises. Like if you... I've lived places where I could hear the refrigerator at night, like making ice or something. So maybe a little bit of white noise to counteract any noise that you're hearing. And I really try to, in the hours before I go to sleep, pay attention to my 5 senses. What I'm smelling, what I'm seeing, what I'm tasting, what I'm feeling. And the temperature part is important. But also, if you're smelling something like a lot of the bath products, they have like invigorating scents. Well, if you use an invigorating scent and you're trying to go to bed, it kind of counteracts. So, like possibly even diffusing a lavender or a calming essential oil. If you're really struggling with stress, sometimes that that smell can help. And any of the 5 senses that you can involve in your sleep routine really helps.
Yeah.
And a lot of times then when you smell lavender, your brain, because it associates it with your bedtime routine, your brain will tell your body that it's time to start relaxing.
So maybe that's one thing too, is like lavender is one thing that I use like with everything in my life. So I would probably, like you're saying, even like your brain knows like when you're turning on the light, like if I associate a certain essential oil to my bedtime routine, your body is associating that with sleep. So I probably wouldn't do lavender for myself.
Right.
I would pick a different one. But even like for me, I love doing like light stretching or like yoga, just to kind of smooth out the kinks, and it allows me to I don't know, that's my relaxing time, is just being able to like send some like blood to my brain, like in downward dog, or just to like, I might just like lay out and just sit there and like do some like light or deep breathing, I guess I should say. And that's my kind of way of like meditating and kind of relaxing from the day.
There's also some really great meditations that bring your awareness to your body, starting like at your feet and working your way up, and allowing you to relax those parts of your body that maybe you didn't even realize were tense throughout the day. But then as you're relaxing, you go, oh yeah, my toes are pretty tense. Or yeah, there is tension in my hip. And you start recognizing those things. Yeah. So guided meditations were really key to me in the beginning of my sleep pattern, because my mind was always trying to stay so active. And I'll post below our comments. I've made a list of my favorite sleep tools and aids, but I'll also put a link to my favorite nighttime meditations. And when I started this process, I'd make it through like 3 or 4 of the 10-minute guided meditations. Now, if I make it through 1.5, it's like a rough night. So it's your brain programming.
That used to help me too. It's funny that you say that, because I used to do not meditations, but I used to listen to a lot of like books on CD or whatnot. And like, let me tell you, they will knock you out quicker than anything, because they first tell you, they're like, don't listen to like while you're driving and everything, because I'm like, they like will, I mean, I wouldn't make it through like 10 minutes. I'd be gone.
I know. You wake up and the book's over. And
I'm like, what just happened? But man, I feel good. And I was going to bring up, even like you reminded me of a practice that you do in yoga. And it's about, again, bringing awareness, like you said, like to your actual like body parts. And forget the yoga name, sorry, like amount of practice in that sense, but you would literally like listen to the teacher, and this is like at the end of the class, and that's like the whole purpose of going to yoga sometimes, is just to get to that
Shavasana.
So you can go to Shavasana and just like pass out, because they basically teach you like to breathe in and breathe out, to like, you start at your head and you like start going down until like you literally are breathing out any sort of pain or discomfort that you might be feeling in those areas. And I tell you, it works.
It works really well.
Yeah, just bringing awareness to any sort of, obviously like pain, but it's bringing awareness in just your overall life. And I think most people are not doing that. And I think that's why you're seeing issues with your sleep or stress or whatnot, because again, it's a cycle, right? So if you're not getting the sleep, like your hormones are messed up. Like if you're not getting out in the sun, you're definitely messing it all up. Like, sorry to say that, but you know, like it's just about bringing intention into your thoughts and seeing or thoughts and actions, and seeing, you know, the results from it.
And you know, society is kind of funny, because society places a lot of emphasis on productivity and I got this much done and doing more in less time. But what I've really found is when I'm getting really good sleep, I am so much more productive when I'm getting good quality sleep than if I ink by on a few hours. that productivity time is not very productive because I'm not at my best. So really getting that 8 hours sleep and being productive during the day is more bang for your buck than depriving yourself of a few hours of sleep and then having subpar results the next day. Yeah,
and you don't feel you're, like, for me, and I was telling Jennifer right before this video, is, like, I, like, clockwork, I used to go to bed at 9 and wake up pretty much at, like, 6:30. I never needed an alarm. Like, I woke up, like, with the sun, basically, because it was just, my body was so in tune to that time period. And I mean, pretty much right when I had Jeffrey, that went all like out the window. Yeah. And now I've had to do more of a routine like thing, or trying to get myself back into some sort of again, routine, I should say. But yeah, like, and especially even with working, telling Jennifer, like, the last thing I would recommend people to do is any sort of work before going to bed, or because, like, my brain is just, like, always, like, on fire in the sense of when I'm, like, sleeping or laying down, like, it takes almost hours before I can actually, like, get to sleep. And so yeah, I'm sure a lot of people kind of do the same thing, like, even with, like, looking on your phone and just your brain's, like, you're stimulating your brain just by like, waking it up.
And then your brain's always jumping to the next thing. And I really wrestled because I have ADHD. And so for me, when I started my bedtime routine several years ago, my brain would always think of, oh, did you do this? Did you do that? You need to do this at work tomorrow. And don't forget this.
Yeah.
And so what I did is, next to my lamp, I kept a notepad and a pencil. And as I thought of things that needed to be done, the things, you know, I'd jump out of bed, check the front door. Yeah, I locked the front door. Yeah. And then I'd write on that list those things that came up on my brain. And then when they came up again, oh, it's on the list. Don't worry about it. And so my brain could know that, okay.
Starting to shut it down.
Yeah, it's taken care of. We don't have to worry about that right now. And so having that list was a good way for me to have the assurance that everything would get taken care of, nothing important was going to get forgotten, but it's time to sleep and we'll take care of that tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So that was a big help for me, was just being able to write down those thoughts as they came up. And then it needed it less and less, because my brain, my body were in sync, and they knew. And you were talking about little kids, and the neat thing about diffusing essential oils is it works on babies too. And so just like our brains get used to smelling a scent and knowing it can work with Jeffrey too, and all the toddlers, babies out there, and maybe that can help shorten some of the time that they're awake at night if they start getting used to those soothing scents and sounds and involving their five senses also.
Yeah, and that was like the first thing that I learned with having my Jeffrey, was like developing some sort of a routine for sleep. And I mean, I kind of shortened it because it used to be like bath, and it used to be like a process, and now, you know, Jeffrey's used to it. Like, I do, like, I'll pretty much, like, rub him down with, like, his lavender lotion and everything. And what worked for me as a new mom as well was kind of listening to my body and listening to myself and allowing my kid to sleep with me. Because that allowed me to get more sleep. And, like, a well-rested mom is a happy mom, because I've never, like, experienced the lack of sleep that I did from, like, raising a kid. And I tell you, like, I just didn't recognize myself for a lot, like, just by the moodiness and just being irritable and just being even, like, hungry, or just, you know, like, there's studies. I just read a study, and they did, like, a blind study on women, and basically they told them that they could only sleep for 4 hours for, like, 6 days. And
oh my goodness.
Yeah, and just to see kind of, like, what happened, and immediately they all went into a pre-diabetic state, and they were always hungry.
Oh my goodness.
Because of, like their hormones just were shot from lack of sleep. So just in 6 days. And so if you're, sleeping, some people don't even get the quality sleep as far as full on like out for 4 hours. Like I'm working with a client, for instance, and we were really working on that. And like you said, it takes time to get a routine. Like you can't just like try it for one night and see if it works. Like you really have to commit to doing it every day. And I tell you, like she says, oh, well, I got maybe like 5 or 6 hours because of, she'll take a nap like after work, and then she's up at like 11, and then, she might sleep from 12 to 3 or something, and then she's up at 6. So it's just kind of like, well, you really need quality sleep from basically 8 to 9 hours is what they recommend.
Well, and if you go into REM sleep 2 hours into sleeping and you're taking an hour-long nap, then you're not getting that REM sleep. That if you combine it and sleep all at once, then you're getting those REM cycles in, and you're getting the deeper sleep that you need. As opposed to those little, like, what are they called? Cat naps? Yeah. I'm not a napper, so I've never been able to nap.
But it's just such a imperative time. I mean, we talk about kids, like kids need it for like development with their bodies and your brain. Like adults do too. Like it's so imperative for proper digestion, proper like hormone health. I mean, it's crazy. It's it's everything, and that's why I really wanted to sit down and just talk about it, because it's just, again, something that we all need, yet we don't really talk about it a lot. And even, well, you do because you're a health coach, but it's imperative. So, if anything else you want to add today?
No, but I'd be interested to know if there were any questions or anything that we could help with. So,
let's see. I think I had to have it on my computer.
Yeah.
We will get back with the questions.
Yeah.
We'll look at the questions and write them down in the comments below. But if anything else, I've been using a salt lamp too, and I do love how like soothing it is. And we were talking about that earlier. We're like, I don't really know the basis of scientifically how proven it is. I did a little research with when I bought mine, and they do seem to help with the attraction of impurities in the air. It helps with just any allergies or, again, kind of like the impurities, just like if you had house plants in your house, they help to just clean the air. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. Like, if you like it and if you feel good about it, it's bringing good health. That's all it is. It's so mental, and it's all about good energy.
We were talking about this with your husband before, and I said, I don't really care what the science says. If I turn this on an hour and a half before I go to bed, and my brain associates it with it's time to go to sleep and soothing and comfort, then my experience is that it works.
Yeah. And
so your experience with it may be that it doesn't hold any meaning to it, but you may find something else that has that same meaning. And, it's all about just creating routines. So when this switch goes on, the switch in my brain says it's time to relax. So it could be any lamp. I mean, it would be better that it not give out too much light, and there's all kinds of different lights, and you don't want certain colors of light right before you're trying to go to sleep because it interrupts your sleep.
Yeah, you definitely need dark light.
And that's why I like this, and that's why this lamp is gray. Typically you see these in an amber color, but I found that just was a little too stimulating for me, so the gray color works really nicely. But it's all about what has meaning for you, and you get to decide what your routine is. The main thing is that you're consistent in it, and that you, we were talking about like on the weekends, if you get off track because it's the weekend, then you just have to work that much harder on Monday to bring your routine back into...
do it every night.
Back into alignment.
And another thing too we can kind of talk about is just creating some sort of peace or relaxing state during the day, because I know a lot of you probably have some sort of stress related in your job or throughout the day, and it's so important to bring yourself back to the present. And I mean, you were talking about even just having, like, you had your little stone. It was just like an item, or like you could have a picture that you have at your desk that kind of reminds you of why you're there and like what you're working for. Or I mean, again, like, breath work always has helped with me, and I'm not like so intent on like counting your breaths or really like emphasizing it too much, but just sitting there and taking deep breaths and relaxes you. It gets more oxygen to your brain, and for me that's always just been my way of calming my nerves. But what do you have to say?
Well, I keep something like this on my desk at work, just a stone, a nice smooth stone. And for me, it's just something that I can have as kind of a grounding to, like you said, bring me back to this present moment. And a lot of times I have work coming in and I'm trying to decide what's most important, what do I need to do right away, and I feel like I have to do everything at once. And when I stop and I just hold the rock that I have on my desk and just feel it, and I feel, oh, okay, this is cool, this is smooth, and I can feel it here in my hand. And I just take a moment to think about, where am I? Where am I physically? You know, I'm sitting at my desk, my feet are connecting to the ground, and I'm here. This is my designated time to work, and my time to worry about, my family or things that need looking after work. That's not the time. This is bringing me back to this moment, and it's just instead of living in the computer or living in what's going on at home or what I need to do tomorrow. This just brings me to this moment, and anything that uses the senses is good for me to just kind of bring my awareness to, what am I seeing, what am I smelling. I have a diffuser that I keep on my desk in the current moment, and so that helps me a lot, just to bring myself to the present moment.
Very good. And yeah, I like that too, about like using your senses. And I really like to talk about being in the present moment, and even bringing into food related, like how I talked about like the intuitive mindful eating. It's about like sitting down and noticing like the colors or noticing the taste and noticing the texture, and then of course noticing how you're feeling with how you're eating. And I mean, that's just something that you can work on in all your life, or all your surroundings and whatnot, and just to bring you into the present, and realizing that everything or whatever is going around you or what's happening it's not you. It's just it's just a moment in time. Like it's not something that you can. Sometimes it's out of your control. So just having something physical, like I love having like a rock or something physical to bring you back to that moment is key. But
absolutely,
yeah. So I hope this helped y'all today, and again, we'll answer some questions, because I did this on my phone today, and so I don't have my laptop up to actually answer the questions right away. So we'll answer the comments and give you a lot of her links of
my favorite things.
Yeah.
Just like Oprah. Oprah has her favorite things. I have my favorite things.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to share them.
Yeah. So again, like, I hope y'all go to bed at a decent hour now. So now that it's Friday, and I do want to say a little, again, thanks for to all the veterans watching today, or if you have any friends or family that have served, please give our love. And another thing is I just want to touch on is, with all the recent events going around our country today, just to reach out and send some love to one another, because there's just there needs to be less hate, more love, right? And that's it. Love you guys. Give us a thumbs up. and a follow. Bye.